Right, hello YouTube, welcome back to some more From the Depths. Now, we've been doing a bit more work on the Battleship in between recording sessions. This is kind of currently where we're up to. I've added some torpedo launchers, which will need their altitude limit setting actually, because they're still firing. I wanted to call attention to a little something, because I looked up the, there's torpedo launchers at both ends, which, to sort of clarify. I've beefed up the side armour to raise up to these decks, properly finished off all the turret caps. And started on this piece, although it's only one layer thick. It'll be thicker than that when it's done. But I always draw a little bit of attention to the Thunderbird here that we fought last time. This was a godly craft. I didn't realise that. But yeah, the Thunderbird is just a straight up godly, and we actually downed it. It did take the effort of several of our ships. But yeah, it turned out we actually killed a godly grade craft. So we actually did quite well in that in last episode. I didn't realise just how high ranking this particular craft is, apparently. Of course, this battleship should have a slightly easier time taking it on, because it's much larger, and also we've got godly mode turned on, or god mode turned on, so we can't actually die. I wanted to just show it off a little bit. But yeah, so we did quite well on that one, as it turns out. But yes, I think we'll leave the work on the battleship here for now. It's very impressive, very noisy. But I think we'll do a bit of the actual campaign next. Let's load her up. We've started our assault on the lightning hoods. I believe we'd pushed a little ways in and just sort of started to encounter them. Yeah, currently capturing some of their, well, not necessarily some of their territory, but some of the old Deepwater Guard territory. I believe that's the fleet that took them on and managed to defeat them. We do want to reinforce this with some new patrol craft.
Listening.
Once we get to that step. In fact, the repair this can bring across the resources to do exactly that. In fact, it can just build them now. Actually, now I think about it.
Moving now.
Let's play it in and then get some of those built. We'll build 3, replace the entire fleet. This is in the wrong place, but I will shift it across later. These are not tremendously expensive, but they should be a good replacement for our old patrol craft. They are reasonably quick as well. It should be faster than the old ones for catching up to the main fleet. Certainly faster than the awesomeness that's building them at any rate. Effectively, they're kind of a little bit of a swamp boat, almost, in terms of construction. Like an armed swamp boat. This is going in. And there we go. That's one down. We need 3 of those. A bit of a good pivot on the spot, actually. I didn't realise it could turn that sharply. Pull the... Let's do a pull quickly, because we've got a fight starting.
Receiving.
What have we got? A Chiropraise and a Hydrovolt. The Chiropraise I know. That's tiny. The Hydrovolt I don't, but it is a lot larger.
Receiving.
Apparently neither of these are particularly large. We've got that. Must be the Chiropraise. That was the one we even built our new missiles specifically to fight. The new patrol craft. We actually tested it on this thing. A Hydrovolt I am not seeing. Oh, it's a submarine. Oh, good. This again. Oh, we got torpedoes this time, mind you. Wait, the hatch is dead? I'm not seeing the hatchet's AI. Don't tell me they've seriously killed the hatchet already, have they? EMP missiles, right. Oh yeah, it's a submarine.
Engage now.
All vessels target that thing if you could, please. Yeah, we do have torpedoes. We can hit it. Yeah, it's actually knocked out the this, although for some reason the hatchet has not died. I don't know why. that sucks. We'll lose a hatchet to this thing. Might even lose more to it if we're unlucky. We died, but not even sure what hit us. Yeah, we're definitely going to need some more fleet revamps to fight these things effectively. Swap these things out for torpedoes. Might not be a bad role for the frigate, actually, to be permanently upgraded into a submarine hunter. Yeah, perhaps that's the best thing we could do with it. Oh, I hate seeing the poor hatchet like that. This hull is solid, it should be able to hold out for a bit longer. Okay, Hydrovolt's engine knocked out, or damaged at least. Ooh. Hit near the missile rack, but no damage. Yeah, it didn't quite knock out its propulsion. Oh, they're telling me it's going to run off again. We've had that happen before. We've had almost this exact situation happen before. There's the frig. Can we improve these torpedoes even any further? Yeah, we can take those off and replace those with a ballast tank. Maybe just more explosives. But at any rate, ballast tank's probably a good bet. Oh, let's even try to protect it. Hey, well, this frigate has been actually very long-lived. I think this is one of our few ships that maybe about to jinx it now because it was taking hits, but this might be one of our few ships that's never actually been knocked out. This particular frigate. Even the crown cannon's trying. It didn't hit, but it's trying. Yeah, I definitely think we need dedicated sub-hunters like the frigate if we're going to keep fighting the lightning hoods. Yeah, I'm really not sure why the hatchet has been pseudo-knocked out, but not actually. The frigate's definitely taking fire now. Which just means that the main gun can aim lower. Can aim through the hole of its own hull. That's pretty metal. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty rad. Yeah, come on, knock out its engines. Or its weapon systems, I'll take either. Looks like some internal force fields there, or is that just the... Oh, it might just be the pattern on it. Oh, the patterning thing's quite nice. I remember hearing about them adding that, but never looking into it. Maybe I'll have to look into that. Perhaps we could put our own unique texture on our ships. Okay, we're starting to put actual holes in its armour. Despite its best efforts to hit us, it seems to be struggling. It's because most of the shots are going into that. Might have to just salvage it mostly. How much does it take to kill this thing? Knocked out almost a fifth of it. I suppose 80% damage, right? Luckily the front end of the hull on this ship is taking the majority of the hits. I think it's planted itself firmly in front of us. God, no wonder it's struggling to knock out this thing's rudder. It's propeller. It's huge. Goes off for miles. Still left. Patrol on the cruiser. Oh, we finally got it. Finally sunk enough torpedo. Yeah, we need a... I might even go to the editor right away and make a... upgrade the frigate to be a dedicated anti-submarine ship. Maybe even update that front turret that's been bad for a while now. At any rate, we need dedicated anti-submarine ships, because that was too much damage to sustain for our main fleet. Oh, what's left? Oh! Is Skyray still here? Oh, it just went.
Receiving.
Yeah, this can use the salvage to repair our own ships partially. Oh. Oh my god, another one. Rectifier. Okay. Speed 183! Gotta be an airship, right? There's no way it could be anything else. Nothing else would be that fast.
Moving out.
An aircraft, I should say. Right.
Receiving.
Guess we'll start the fight. Oh, it's huge! Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. Which is expensive. 318,000. What are we fighting? Oh, it's like a... What is this thing? The way I have a bad feeling we're not going to kill it. It's moving very fast. Lasering our cruiser at the moment. There's missile seekers? I think there's a missile seekers. It's trying to shoot down our missiles, although I'm not sure it's working. It's not Other Godly, is it? The name does sound familiar. It wasn't the Other Godly on the list, was it? Because if it is, that is some tremendously bad luck. Two of those things show up at once. Okay, those explosions are Sea Whiz. Poor cruiser. We don't have a chance at fighting that thing, do we? It's so quick. It's certainly too quick for the weaponry we're armed with at the moment, at any rate. Although I did just see a hit there. What did we hit it with? I'm sorry, I have no idea, but... we do any significant damage to it with that hit. About 50 blocks, so we could get a good hit, but... What's this rectifier? 500,000 material. Oh, this is a big one. Yep. This is actually bigger than our cruiser in terms of blocks, and our cruiser wasn't repaired. Well, for one thing, we should. I was going to say restore these to being missiles, but there's nothing left. Could we upgrade the cruise? Oh yeah, could we upgrade this thing's missiles? Nope. No, we can't, because it's just lasered them off. Man, okay, so that was bad timing. What's still working, if anything? Do we have main guns? Protection system's completely knocked out on board the cruiser. I think the cruiser's dead. Oh, I'm not sure there's anything we can do about this thing. Yeah, we may have to return to the, again, as I said, return to the design area. Can we do anything else? I think we just lose them. That sucks. Just lose the whole main fleet because we can't do a thing to rescue it.
Listening.
The sifters aren't even really the right sort of thing to rescue it either. Their missiles will never hit it. They'd destroy it immediately if they could, but I think what we're going to have to do is save the campaign. We're going to need fighters, I think, and we're going to need quite a few of them. Their lasers are going to be very good at shooting them down. trying to think. We need something like fighters anyway. Something that can keep up these things. Not really sure what, if I'm honest. This might be a matter where I have to give this some thought and come back to you guys with something, because I'm really not sure what would be our best bet for taking something like that on. Unless we could perhaps go for some kind of stealth craft that's very difficult to spot, like a stealth fighter that has like we give it a really low profile, really cold running engines, perhaps even RCGs. Or do they generate heat? 40 cm3. How much does the jet engine generate by comparison? Doesn't say. But yeah, we could potentially do some kind of stealth fighter perhaps that's sort of very, very low profile. Don't know if we can make it out of anything laser resistant. Or at least, again, make them cheap so we can have a lot of them. And then give them perhaps missiles that are self-guiding. That could be a way to do it. They'd have to be fast. We could maybe do heat seekers. Oh, mind you, let's check out a lot of flares, so I guess heat seekers is a bad idea. We could still try it, maybe, I guess, in testing at least. Let's have a look, see if we can find it. Hang on, it was a... Was it actually a rectifier? Was that actually it? Oh my god, it's the other godly. We kill one and the other one showed up. Right. Okay. Let's put a bunch of Steel Strider Harkeys to test the concept. Let's kind of test the concept here with Harkeys. Like a fast, evasive fighter aircraft. So whatever it is, it'll have to be, again, either evasive from the missiles by stealth or evasive from the missiles by just evasiveness and speed. We're looking at this like EMP frag. Maneuverable by the looks of that. There's no evading those lasers. I'm not even sure there's any surviving them with a small ship, but I feel like we need something that can chase it, you know what I mean? So they're actually fast enough to keep up with it. They are missile interceptors, I think, those things. What on earth do we do about this thing? It's fast too, like really fast. I'll start a bit of construction. I'll get back to you guys. I'm not quite sure, but I'll give it a try on the current idea. Alright, we're back. It's a new day for me. And I've decided a bit more what I think we're going to do. I think, rather than a small airplane, we're going to build our own large one. I'm a bit inspired by the Mobula from the Steel Striders. Sort of like a flying wing type design. I've had a bit of a chat with people in the comments. One of the suggested lasers, I was thinking, oh, maybe particle cannons for sort of high damage instant shot. They also said, oh, maybe try slow firing lasers, like lasers with a long charge up time. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, that could potentially work. I don't know how much fuel access is going to need to put a fair bit on it. So what I'm thinking is maybe big flying wing. Then behind the engine block, we'll have a large turret, which will have a laser on both the top and the bottom. A big rotating turret that can rotate 360. Give it a huge coverage, and then maybe some missiles as backup weapons, like high-speed chaser missiles type idea. Maybe some short-range defensive systems of some sort. Decoys, perhaps. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. It'll be an aircraft design, I think, more than the hovercraft. So we'll try and give it some actual working wings. They'll probably be concealed within the actual chassis. So what I'm thinking is I'll do what I usually do, which is to build a bit, then pause. I've also heard someone suggesting for the builds in series to do to time lapse them when we're actually spawning them in, to just like time lapse. I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? If I can, my editing is not stellar because I never tried to do anything like that before, but I'm sure I could give it a shot. It's like speed up a thing, so you guys get to see it come together still, but it doesn't take quite so long in episode. I think I'm going to build the sort of container for the outer shell, but I won't. But I'll only seal the bottom so that we can then put components in it. It's going to be quite a simple shape, I think. Overall, it is going to be a fairly standard giant flying wing. I think it a bit, maybe upturn the tips of the wing. If you guys have ever played Ace Combat, if you know Arsenal Bird, maybe something a little bit like that. We'll try and make it fairly tough from the front. I don't know that it's going to have particularly thick armor, but it's probably not going to be able to because it flies. This will be temporarily overriding progress on the battleship. I think that'll be better suited to a faction that isn't the Lightning Hoods. I think they're sort of effectively just the wrong type of foe to be deploying something like that against. I think we'll be better off with a faster moving craft. If just because we're also going to have to chase them on the world map a bit, and there's the practicalities of that. Where's the... So, 2 more. This might be too big, but this is the amount of space I'm going to allocate for it. We can always leave a lot of it empty. Maybe even put some decoys in the empty wings. Perhaps, I don't know exactly how we'll do it, but... Yeah, okay, it's in the right place. But somehow the wrong distance? I'm not sure how I've managed that. Oh, we have to fill it, don't we? I think if we do that, it should fill okay, though. Nope. Well, if the algorithm doesn't do it right. Fine, I'll fill it myself. But yeah, so I'll skip ahead a little bit. I'll skip ahead to when we've got the some more of the internals in, and we'll see where we're at. So yes, back in a moment. Okay, and here's what I'm thinking will be the power plant setup for the lasers, which I just realised I've forgotten to put the pumps on the top sections. But yeah, so thinking 8 very large capacitor banks, effectively. So thinking it'll primarily store up power between battles rather than necessarily in them. But it should come into power with a lot. Oh, it should come into a battle with a lot. Again, as mentioned, it'll be quite slow firing. We can limit the fire rate. But yeah, we should have a lot, potentially huge amount of damage stored up in this thing. Like I say, we're going to mount a turret on both the top and bottom to give ourselves a good firing arc. I might even be tempted to do a 2-part turret. Have like a rotating ring at the bottom and then a vertically pivoting section as well, so it can do almost a full 360 dome. But I kind of like the idea of keeping it flat, and keeping it quite tough. But I'll see what we do with that. So I'll leave the outer wings for the rest of the weapon systems, and also for mounting actual wing in, which I think I might even do now, because actually control this thing's going to be interesting. I don't know exactly how this is going to work. Get stabilizers, yeah, we might end up using those. I guess if we could put your... I think we could put them inside the hull, right? I believe that's the thing we could do anyway. So what if I try just having a ton of your rudders just stored inside the craft? I'm not quite sure how this is going to fly. We might end up having a slightly pointed tail to put the AI in, or I might just put it here behind the laser. Not quite sure how we're going to do that, but yeah, and then again we'll put... We put maybe the... Oh, we need to picture only. So we'll just have a bunch of these. We put them up to about there, and then save the rest of the hole there for weapon systems. Because maybe doing it completely wrong, but the Mobile looked like it had fins all the way through the inside of its wing. It kind of looked like the wing actually might have been made of fins, just with a with mimic blocks over it to cover the gaps and cover the wings and make them look like it was a solid hull. I'm genuinely not quite sure how that would actually work. So I haven't done stuff with aircraft for a while in this game, but yeah, so I'll maybe also slap on some basic engine setup and try and get the thing flying and just get the hang of how one sets up the AI for these things. Oh, I might also have to the curve on the back of the wing as well, because otherwise that's not going to fit. I'm not going to be able to do the back of the wing. But yes, back in a minute when we've done some more on it. Okay, we're back. I've got the thing flying to some extent. It does need to pitch with the with some thrusters on the nose, but it is airborne. It can turn and it can yaw and roll with wings. I was trying to get it to pitch with them, couldn't make it work, so we're just doing that with jets. But the majority of our pitching in that doesn't use too much. I don't know how much fuel this thing. I don't think it uses too much fuel a minute. It will use a fair bit, but I think it's got quite a long turning circle. I don't know if this yaw is tremendously powerful. I did have to flip it. For some reason it came out the wrong way around. It didn't seem to be able to turn. But yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. Got some engines in. We're air capable. And yeah, I'll do some more tweaks. I maybe add the weaponry and test its actual maneuverability in a fight. We may have to do something to let it turn easier. But yeah, so I'll catch back up with you guys in a minute when we've done that. Alright, so this is where we're at the moment. This is the, I guess, finished prototype. Although it's not, I wouldn't say 100% finished yet. It's 230,000 resources. It's not tremendously expensive to build one of these, actually, compared to, I think it's the same as a one of our airships, one of our sifters. What's the sifter cost? Yeah, it's actually, I think, a little less than the sifter. It's notably faster than 94 meters a second at the moment. I'm not 100% convinced by the damage output, but we have added additional weapon systems. We have missiles now. I haven't put any defenses on yet. I do want to add some decoy launchers. We do have some fairly high velocity missiles. I think they'd burn at 250 at maximum. So they are fast enough to catch that thing and land hits on it. This is the Rectifier that we're trying to deal with. Now, I'm not too sure how well we'll withstand the Rectifier's attack, because there's a lot of lasers. I'm thinking we might have to add force fields. So I have a feeling this thing is going to be power hungry. I think it's going to be a fuel hog, but it's going to have to be. It is only about half the cost. So as long as we can sort of complete it without putting the price up too much, it might still be pretty viable as a way to take those things down, even if they have to do it in packs. The laser beam does seem to be reasonably powerful and accurate. At the moment, it's got quite a low fire rate. I did increase the amount of pumps and decrease the amount of cavities. I know they said, oh, you can make it work quite well with that, but I think with the way it was working, it didn't seem to have a huge output. I've also put surge absorbers along the inside of the wing. I might have to add more, depending on how bad the EMP damage is, but I'll do some testing with Godly Mode off later. And we do seem to be able to down it without too much difficulty. It's just a case of whether it can actually do that in a feasible time before it itself is downed. And at the moment, it just looks like a big flying chevron. Looks-wise, it looks very basic, but it is functional at least. So now I have to think about defenses. So I think we'll start with some decoy missile launchers. There's a fair bit of space inside the wing. They're pretty hollow. So maybe here. That's between the two engines. This one is just an extra turning engine. Or at least it's supposed to be. I'm not 100% convinced it's working. It might be another thing where it's inverted again for some reason, like the yaw controls seem to be on this craft. Yeah, well, it should have to power up when it wants to turn left, right? I don't know. Right, so anyway, yeah, I'll get back to you guys in a minute when I've added the decoy systems. Okay, so I think I'm in a fairly good spot for this thing. For the moment, I haven't done the defenses at all yet, but I've beefed up the engines, because it seems to run low on power towards doing more extended fights. I've tweaked the laser turrets, I've rebuilt the turrets, used a fair few decorations to make them look hopefully fairly nice. Missiles are working well. Those interceptor missiles are working fine. Laser beams I'm not so sure of. I wasn't so keen on the 1Q lasers. I've just downgraded them to 0Q lasers to just be continuous beam. I think that should be quite good for sweeping aircraft. Yeah, I'm not too sure about how well we can reliably fight these things. It does seem to be very resilient to damage, but then again, we can deploy 2 of these against it, so I'll maybe also do a test run with 2 of these before I even add any defenses and see if how they do against it, see if 2 of them working together can destroy one, because if they can, then it's effectively cost efficient. These cost roughly half as much as one of those, so if 2 of these together can do it, then it's technically value for value, and that's basically a success, really. Not the ideal type of success, but I'm not sure what this thing is doing, though, that makes it so hard to shoot down. Is it just because it's got a lot... I suppose it's got armor. Really, ours is not really heavily armored. This thing kind of is. But I mean, look at that. Look at that chunk we've taken out of it. Our lasers are struggling to hit it, though. Maybe we need to upgrade the... Oh! You know what we don't have at all? We don't have aim point selection. This hasn't even been aiming for weak points. No wonder it's struggling. Yeah, these are laser beams. They should be aiming for the weak points on it. Well, they are definitely picking on a target now. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll upgrade the detection systems as well, and then we'll maybe run a quick test run on camera and see how it does. Yeah, let's quickly add a... what do you call it? We'll add a pair of laser distance measurers. Try and improve the aim a little bit, hopefully. Or laser rangefinders, that's the word. Then I'll spawn 2 of these, which will be at full resources and everything. Okay, yeah. Right, let's try spawning 2 of these in and see how they do against it. Okay. Rectifier there. See how we do. Oh, I probably should have swapped the facings. Ours are facing the wrong way. Okay, beam damage is increasing quickly. Missiles away. Not struggling too much at all to get hits. Beams are cutting it. Have a look in. They are taking damage quickly, though. Oh, yeah, there goes one of the ammo reserves. They can't do it. We will indeed have to do some work on the defences still. Maybe even the firepower as well, honestly. It's not like they're doing nothing to it, but they're just not damage fast enough. But here comes another missile barrage. Maybe we could upgrade the missiles, change their payload, perhaps. I think they're just pure explosive at the moment. They are landing hits consistently. The beams are doing good. They are actually doing good damage. We've done almost 500,000 damage to this thing. Yeah, it might just be that laser defensive shields are the main things that these need, and then between 2 of them they can take it on. Even if it is just a bit more of a drag-out battle. By the way, I'll add the shields between episodes. I've already got a bit of extra editing to do with this one, because I realised I'd been recording for about 15 minutes when I thought I'd stopped. So I'd have to edit down some footage. Yeah, one of them's taking a beating, but it's staying up. I'll give them some credit for having not much armor. They're not going down easily. Although I don't know that that one's got many weapons left, but it's still firing with missiles on the right wing. Yeah, the decoys aren't doing much. It is definitely quite easily able to get its missiles through. I don't know about... don't know that our decoys are deflecting it much either, though. Ooh. Its laser's changed. I think we're damaging it. Yeah, it's focusing primarily more on one of the 2 ships. Which is good, because that means the other one can keep going with less damage. Look at this thing. It's still flying. I'm not even sure how it's still flying with damage like that. I don't see thrusters particularly. Is it just that the one thruster on its remaining wing? You'll have to keep that thing airborne. And the continuous beam is doing damage. You can see where it's cutting. It was cutting parts out of it there. We lost one? No, one's just disappeared. That's over there. These missiles should be faster than it, so it should be able to always catch them. Give it enough flight time. We're hurting it. And amazingly, both are still up. I thought I would have gone down. We've got no real defenses on these things apart from the flares. Too high. Ooh. It's flown too high. Yeah, so possibly with laser defensive shields, that should take a good chunk out of its damage. As long as they're not too expensive. And I'll have to check pad drain as well, because we've got 6 engines in these things now, and they're still struggling a bit. Or is it 8? I'm not even sure. It might even be 8 engines, but 5,100. No, it's 5, I think. But yeah, we've got 5 engines on board this thing, and they're still having pad drain issues, so shields might be a bit iffy, but... And batteries as well. But yeah, no, we're still up, and they're starting to do damage. I think these might work. Remember, these are about the same cost. It costs, say, to fly 2 of these things, it does to fly 1 of those. Yeah, we got it! Oh, look at that. Between these two, we can bring down even godly flyers. Apparently. Who knows how well they'll perform against other crafts, but I can't imagine they'll be any worse. In fact, they should be pretty good, because they'll be really hard to hit. Yeah, okay, we'll call the episode there, I think. As a concept, at least, while they need some more work. Let's have a look at the damage. It's another one of them got its AI called out, as or its ammunition reserve called out as well. But only on one side, the other one took the hits. So where if it is the other reserve? Should be obvious, because it's made of metal, right? It's here. I can't see where that is. Oh, is it completely internal? Oh, it might be completely internal. Was it exposed? Ah, it's only exposed on the bottom. Okay. Yeah, okay. Good work, Flying Wings. We'll have to come up with a proper name. I've nicknamed them Skyray for the moment, but whether they'll stick with that name or not, I don't know. Oh boy, look at the other one though. It's been beaten up. And I might put some decorations on them as well on the outside, make them look a little bit nicer than they do, because obviously they are very plain. Functional, but very plain. Look at that. It's still flying. It's only lost 1 engine. It's had 1 wing totally caught open and ruined. There's no missile... No, the missile launchers are even still in there. They're disabled because they lost the... Yeah, so if I also maybe reinforce a little bit around the weapon controller to make those a bit harder to knock out, that missile launcher would have still been firing. So yeah, I'll do some internal reinforcement and I'll fit some shields on them, either at the start of the next episode or in between episodes. And I think we'll have a contender. Awesome. Right, yeah, so we'll call the episode there. Thanks for the... Instead of saying my normal, like, oh, you know, game developer, check the comments, everything, I'll say thanks for the comments, everybody. There's been a lot of interest in this series. Like, the old From the Depths review on my channel from a few months back, I want to say, it was like the highest video on my channel for ages, and I was like, oh, you know what, I do like From the Depths. I haven't played it much for a while. Let's have a proper crack at it for the campaign. It seems you guys have really been enjoying it. It's getting by far the most comments of anything on my channel, so yeah, glad you've been enjoying it. Now I'll catch you guys, as I fail to try and repair this thing a bit out. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.